Okay, sorry about that. Phone was ringing. And she also goes on to say that this God would want to be worshipped and is concerned with who works on the Sabbath day. Well, of course, God wants to be worshipped. He created everything around us. He created us, so to speak. I mean, He created everything around us. I mean, everything. Of course He wants to be worshipped. He wants to be recognized for what He has done for us. He's created a world for us to live in comfortably, and to make a world what we want it to be. Of course He wants to be worshipped, and of course He's concerned with who works on the Sabbath day. Now, there are people who work on the Sabbath day, Sunday, day we keep holy. It's because they need to. Family sometimes kind of, picks that, and unfortunately, well, I think God accepts that. There's certain things we have to do, around here, because not others believe what we believe. So, of course, He wants to be worshipped, and of course, He's concerned with who works on the Sabbath day. Okay, there we go. The next question she answered, and I really couldn't wait to get to this one. If you died today and discovered God exists, what would you say to he, she, or it? And she goes off on this big thing, God failed. And, why would you do this to us? Why would you create these wars, suffering, and everything like that? Well, we did that to ourselves. When we ate from the tree of knowledge, it made us aware of what we could do, and everything else like that, instead of being innocent as a child, because a child has really no actual difference between right and wrong. They only know what we teach them, and children are honest. They are just totally honest. And when my sister was really, really, really little, when my parents were stationed over in Germany, she saw her first black guy. And, she took her hand and went like this, and looked at it, and then wiped his face again and looked at it again. Well, my mom always loved to tell that story, and she said that guy lost his mind laughing. I mean, he was a good friend of the family, but he thought it was hilarious, because just because the sheer openness of children sometimes gets us. And when we ate from the tree of knowledge, we kind of opened ourselves up to all of this kind of thing. So we only do it to ourselves. If we were to think unselfishly all the time and try to help others all the time, then these things around us wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't have wars. But God did not fail. He didn't cause wars. He didn't cause pestilence, conflicts, deaths, the murders, and everything else that's going on in the world. For someone to say it is His fault, for all this, hasn't really read the Bible, and he will no longer interfere with human actions. He gave us all free will. What we do with it is our own punishment or our own reward. To say that God is responsible for it all is just lazy. It's not my fault. God did it. He's the one that made all this around us, so it's His fault that we're doing this to each other. You don't like it, do something about it. For us Christians, it's going to church and having a fellowship and witnessing to others to, like I said earlier, try to make other people's lives better. By showing them, turn the other cheek. And all that jazz, I guess you could say. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to go on to the next question. I feel kind of good now. The next question was, what religion is the most dangerous in your eyes today and in the past? Well, in the past, I would have to say Catholicism. Maybe not Christianity as a whole, but yeah. You know what? Let me take that back. I'm going to have to say Christianity in the past, because in the past, Christians started wars in the name of God, and I don't think that should have happened, because God is always trying to, promote, hey, look, you don't need to fight with others to, get through this life. We can all coexist together, with no problem. But it's up to every single one of us to make that happen. And today, she said Islam. Yeah, I've got to say Islam is definitely dangerous today. With everything going on in the Middle East, the September 11th, all that stuff that's going on in the world, it's Islamic extremists. We still have Christian extremists today as well, like the Westboro Baptist Church. Those people are nuts. But no matter where you go, no matter what religion you have, you're always going to have your extremists. And she goes on to say, separation of church and state, that's a good thing because that shit is dangerous. The separation of church and state, no matter what, there's never going to be a full separation of it, because you're always going to have someone praying over something. You're always going to have people believing, bringing their own personal beliefs into the government. Like Democrats and Republicans. Democrats believe in pro-choice, and Republicans believe in pro-life. Myself, I believe in pro-life. Because I do think it's wrong to kill a child. That's still in the womb. It's a child, and its soul is there, and I think it's wrong to kill that child. And I believe people are making victims of the one person that can't speak up for themselves, and only simply for their own personal comfort and what they don't want. So I think I think that's the biggest part of it. Separation of church and state will never fully happen, because no matter what, people are going to bring their own beliefs into the government and the people around them. So let's see. She said, what would it take for you to believe in, and the next question was, what would it take for you to believe in God? Well, she said evidence, and then cut off the video. Evidence is all around you. Like I was talking earlier, I believe the earth is, and all life, and the situation in the solar system around us is too much of a coincidence of everything to happen all together for us to actually exist. Like I said, earlier, insects to birds to, everything else. It all lives intricately on this earth. There's millions of forms of life on this earth, and we all just happen to exist out of chance, and we can't find life anywhere else. If it happens on this large scale, why can't we find really any evidence of it anywhere else yet? If we ever do really find life elsewhere, I do think it will shake up religion as it exists today. But I would also have to say that you won't find life like us anywhere else. So I believe the evidence is all around us. It just takes an open mind to really look around and say, you know what, you're right. We are the perfect distance away from the sun. Something had to place us here. Do I believe a hand went like this? No, but I believe God in His omnipotence, places everything in a way that only He can do. And does that sound absurd? Yes, it does sound absurd. But like I said earlier, it's absurd because we don't understand. We can't even begin to fathom that kind of control. So, yeah, the evidence is all around us.